What's up, guys? I'm Hustle.
And I'm Mo, and welcome to the Mo Hustle Show.
What up, y'all? We so glad that y'all stopped by to kick it with us.
We talking about everything from politics to pool pits to stripper poles. So sit back, relax, and let's get into it.
Period. What's up, guys? I'm Hustle.
And I'm Mo.
And welcome to the Mo Hustle Show. Man, y'all wouldn't even understand what's going on right now. A little inside, but we're going to get through it. Listen, y'all, welcome back. Today we are discussing the COVID-19 vaccination. Are you for it or are you against it?
That's the question, y'all. It's a big topic.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so before we get started, we're going to do a quick disclaimer. Basically letting you guys know that all the information on today's show is just basically research that we've done on our own, events that have happened, and basically just our personal preference, personal opinion type deal. So none of this information is medical knowledge or anything like that.
Right. So pretty much, man, for anybody, I know everybody's familiar with COVID-19, but I'm just going to give you the definition of it. It says COVID-19 is caused by a coronavirus called SARS-CoV-2. Anybody that's familiar or remembers the SARS outbreaks, you know that it was a highly contagious and sometimes fatal respiratory illness. Some COVID-19 cases have no symptoms, but older adults and people who have severe underlying conditions, they seem to be at higher risk for developing serious complications. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about how COVID changed our life as we knew it, y'all. I mean, it switched up everything, some for good, some for bad, but nonetheless, it transformed what we were used to. Businesses were closed, forced to close temporarily or forced to completely shut down. All right. School was made virtual. There were layoffs. We were all forced to wear masks inside establishments, forced into social distancing, so you couldn't really pull up on your loved ones and check on them. You couldn't find toilet paper and Lysol anywhere.
Somebody got paid.
Somebody did. It was somebody out here slinging Lysol and toilet tissue.
Mm-hmm. I sold some.
I know that's right. All right. A lot of elderly people were lonely and depressed. Not just elderly, some younger people were too. I mean, everybody, because you just couldn't do nothing. We were stuck in the house pretty much. A lot of people were forced to quit their jobs and stay at home with their children. Now, I think for the kids, that was fun. Them was some good times. But for most of the parents, they was probably ready for them kids to go back to school. All right. And also, most importantly, there were 4.55 million million deaths worldwide during the COVID-19 when it first happened. But now that's increasing because we have variant D. So we just don't know what that's going to look like in the future.
I'm scared. You know how we feel about it, but I mean, it's just it's a lot to think about, a lot to take on when you don't really know where this thing is going to take as far as the economy, our health, what it's going to do to our healthcare system, insurance. It's just going to affect a lot of things.
It's a lot of things, a lot of things that come along with it. So I definitely agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, and just when the pandemic first came about, there was just an overcast of fear, I think, amongst everybody. We initially didn't know very much about it. There was no information really to give us or to give anybody, so it was just a big scare. Also, the economy, like you said, took a huge hit during and after the shutdown. Some industries were able to make huge profits, while other people suffered. Other businesses suffered. They weren't able to stay afloat. There were several businesses that had been around for decades, and because of the pandemic, they closed down. I mean, it just got really, really bad for some people. Grocery stores and pharmacies, of course, they were able to make bank. Places like furniture stores, appliances, gas stations, airports, sporting and hobby stores, and things like that saw a decline because you had people out of work. Nobody really had the money to spend. Right. You can't go anywhere.
Yeah. It's like, what I'm buying all this shit for?
Right. So, a lot of companies took some huge losses. Below is an illustration of just how bad things got in terms of retail and economy. If you just take a quick look, if y'all just look at the purple for 2020, that's the recession. That indicates the recession.
That's crazy.
That we went into because of the pandemic. I mean, you see the blue, red, the rest of the lines in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, and I mean, this is it's dramatic.
Yeah, it really is. It's not just a little slight
right
thing.
It's a big drop.
Yeah.
So there was roughly $900 billion thus far that's been allocated for COVID relief. Well, for all the COVID relief bills, and that's just state and local governments alone. When you talk about federal governments, that number sits around $2 trillion. And we'll talk more about that shortly.
Wow. Okay, so basically, January 9, 2020, the World Health Organization. Look, y'all, we just gonna call them WHO. We just gonna call them WHO, because I can't say that all that shit together. I figured it out. So listen, WHO announced that there was a mysterious coronavirus pneumonia in Wuhan, China. As Mo stated earlier, man, these were uncertain and scary times for a lot of people, because shortly after that, you get the first case. You get the first U.S. case. And then we're told after that person-to-person transmission is how it's getting around pretty much. So this triggered a series of events that affected everybody worldwide. I'm talking about from airports doing screening, starting at the first major airports. You got JFK, San Francisco International, Los Angeles. So on top of all the other shit you got to do, all the other screenings, now you got to worry about getting screened to make sure you're not sick. So, all right. Then global air travel was restricted. Okay. You couldn't really come and go as you wanted to everywhere. Right. And I think for a lot of people, they were okay with that. I know I was, because I wasn't trying to go to very many places anyway.
I wasn't trying to go to China.
Right. All right. So then the U.S. declares a public health emergency. WHO issues a global health emergency and declares COVID-19 a pandemic. And then Trump declares it a national emergency. So this thing at this point, shit is getting real. Shit is getting serious. So March 17th, let's talk. We really here to talk about this vaccination, y'all. So we're gonna get into this vaccination. So there was a test that started at the University of Michigan. They started testing for hydroxychloroquine. All right, they had a clinical trial. They was investigating pretty much whether or not you could prevent an individual exposed with COVID-19 from becoming ill or reduce the severity of the infection. All right, so the trials were limited pretty much to people that were at high risk. So,
your medical healthcare professionals,
right, first responders, all that. So, on March 24th, they halted those clinical trials. All right, so make sure y'all remember, March 17th they started. March 24th, they were halted. All right, because I want y'all to remember this little timeline. All right, shortly after that, the CARE Act was signed into law, which gave $2 trillion in aid to hospitals, small businesses, and government, local governments. So on March 30th, the FDA issues an authorization for the use of hydroxychloroquine. All right, but this was just an emergency authorization use. That means that the drug is not yet approved by the FDA. They can just use it pretty much during a declared state of emergency. I don't know how y'all feel about that, but I ain't feeling that shit.
We don't know if it works, but we're going to go ahead and use it.
Let's try it. You know what I'm saying? And then to add insult to injury, man, shortly after that, Trump endorses it. Y'all take a look at this clip.
A lot of good things have come out about the hydroxy. A lot of good things have come out. And you'd be surprised at how many people are taking it, especially the frontline workers, before you catch it. The frontline workers, many, many are taking it. I happen to be taking it. Hydroxychloroquine? I'm taking it, hydroxychloroquine.
When?
Right now, yeah. A couple of weeks ago, I started taking it. Because I think it's good. I've heard a lot of good stories. And if it's not good, I'll tell you right. I'm not going to get hurt by it. It's been around for 40 years for malaria, for lupus, for other things. I take it. Frontline workers take it. A lot of doctors take it. A lot of doctors take it. I take it. Now, I hope to not be able to take it soon because, I hope they come up with some answer. But I think people should be allowed to. I got a letter from a doctor the other day from Westchester, New York, around the area. He didn't want anything. He just said, sir, I have hundreds of patients, and I give them hydroxychloroquine. I give them the Z-Pak, which is...
Man, listen, I'm sorry, but does anybody believe that this man was really taking this drug?
He didn't even know what it...
Yeah, I take it.
He was reading the script. Like, they probably just made the script and turned the camera on. He's like, yeah. He clearly didn't have a clue.
And he gets in front of the American people, a bunch of people, not all of us, but a bunch of people that he know that follow him.
Right.
Like, he can go tell them to I don't know, go attack a Capitol building. And that's what they'll do.
Right.
So you get in front of all these people and endorse this, and it's not approved by the FDA. Come on, man. To me, that's a problem.
It's a
All
big
right,
problem.
but let's get a little further into it. Hydroxychloroquine has been around for decades. All right, it's been used to treat malaria and other autoimmune conditions like rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, stuff like that. But to date, there is no evidence that it's effective in treating or preventing coronavirus. But there are three other ones. There are three other vaccinations that people are using now. The first one is Pfizer-BioNTech. It's recommended that people get 2 shots of that 21 days apart, and you can get a third dose if your immune system is compromised. All right, the next one is Moderna. That's also 2 shots, 28 days apart. And just like Pfizer, it's recommended that you get a third one if your immune system is compromised as well. Then you got Janssen Pharmaceuticals, also known as Johnson & Johnson. They had 1 shot for y'all, okay? 1 shot, and everybody gets that 1 shot whether your immune system is compromised or not. Now, Pfizer is actually the only vaccine that's fully approved by the FDA. The other ones are still being used, can still be used because they're authorized under the Emergency Use Act.
Right.
So just like any other medication, man, all of these medications got side effects, and they all need to be taken into consideration before you use anything.
Exactly. All right, y'all. So let's just go over some of the side effects. Most people already know what all the side effects are. And amongst the 3 different vaccinations, some of the side effects are just pain at the injection site, tiredness, headache, joint pain, muscle pain, fever. As far as issues with each one of the actual vaccines, issues reported with Pfizer were cases of myocarditis and pericarditis in adolescents and young adults. For Johnson & Johnson issues, we had the issues with blood clotting. Then they pulled back this particular vaccine until they did some further studying and development. I'm not really sure exactly what they did when they stopped, but they, like you said, again, like you can use it now, and it's still not fully approved. Also, there was issues with, and I'm probably saying this wrong, Guillain-Barré syndrome. How do you say that? Do you know?
Is it Jillian?
Guillain? I'm not sure.
Guillain-Barré
Guillain-Barré syndrome. Jillian? That's what we'll call it.
Jillian-Barré.
So then you jump down to Moderna. There was issues, some of the same issues as Pfizer, which is the myocarditis and pericarditis. And of course, with all the vaccines and pharmaceutical companies, they have a disclaimer basically stating that the benefits far outweigh the negative side effects by far. So, I mean, I don't know if I buy that, but hey, that's what they're saying.
We want y'all to hear how to say this. Hold
Okay,
on.
this is how you say it.
Guillain-Barré.
Guillain-Barré syndrome. All right, so Johnson & Johnson, like I said, there was issues with the blood clotting, and also, a couple people got Guillain-Barré syndrome behind that. Those numbers are really on a small scale. But with any medication, you'll have your small percentage of cases that just the medications don't work.
Right.
So
Right.
that's what I got for the side effect or for the issues with all 3.
Okay. Wow. I didn't even realize that a lot of these side effects were here. So
Yeah.
listen, we don't want y'all to think that we're trying to sway y'all in one direction or the other one, because everybody has to do what's best for them. There are those that suffer from COVID-19, and ultimately they decided that they were going to get vaccinated because they didn't ever want to go through it again.
Right.
And you also have those with the compromised immune systems that decide that they can't afford not to get it. So, but with all that given information, like what are y'all's thoughts? What are y'all's thoughts about the timeline from when it was tested and then it was approved, and what do y'all think about that? Do y'all think that that's an issue? That's something to be actually, thought about before you decide to take it? Or do you think that, hey, this is what they said that we should take, so you know what I'm saying? Let's get vaccinated. Look, I'm personally, I'm gonna tell y'all like this. I'm personally not choosing not to get. Well, I'm personally choosing not to get the vaccination, but I think that everybody, I think all of us at some point have actually had the virus. That's just my opinion.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
I agree, because how could you not?
Right. And I think if I'm here and I'm healthy and I'm okay and I'm conscious and I'm making a conscious effort to, you know what I'm saying, do everything that I can to not get the virus or to make sure my immune system is intact, then I think I'll be all right. I'm just going to take my chances with the natural and holistic way. And because this is just not enough research for me.
Okay. I can agree with that. Actually, I couldn't agree more. For me, like you said, there just hasn't been enough time to fully research the vaccine. Not only the short-term side effects, but the possible long-term side effects that, you know, the vaccines might cause.
Yeah.
And not to get that confused with development, because some would argue that the development stages of the vaccines date back to 10 years when researchers began developing vaccines. It was for SARS and for MERS, though. And the counter argument would be it could very easily be the fact that none of the SARS vaccines ever made it past its first stages of development and testing. So basically, you took the blueprint, you know, from research and development from SARS and the MERS respiratory diseases, and continued to create a COVID vaccine.
Right.
Which to me, you know, there's a gap.
Yeah. It's a big
gap. Not only is there a gap in time, but it's a gap in, I mean, these are two totally different diseases. They have some of the same characteristics, but they're two totally different diseases. You'll also hear in the media, that the proper steps that we're taking, I don't know. You'll hear the media. I'm not even going to comment on that. Okay, we'll leave it alone. I don't want to stir up any shit. All right.
Hey, listen though, but whether y'all plan on getting vaccinated or not, because we mess with y'all heavy, we're going to just go ahead and give y'all some information, some pointers on how to naturally and holistically boost your immune system. All right, first of all, drink some water. Put that sugary shit down, man. You can't drink that all the time. You got to get that water in.
Right.
And make sure y'all getting some exercise in. Not only does exercising flush out the bacteria from your lungs and airways, but it also helps your white blood cells circulate more rapidly, which can, in turn, help your body find illnesses more quickly, and if that's even a word, and get rid of it easier and faster. All right. Eat more plants. Eat more whole plant foods like fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, and legumes. I'm not always the best at eating my vegetables.
It's all right. We're gonna get you there.
Yeah, but Mo like her vegetables. She eat her vegetables faithfully.
Looks like I eat too many of them.
Manage also. Make sure y'all managing your stress levels. You know what I'm saying? Meditate, journal, do harmful exercises. I think we mentioned this in another episode, but I don't think people realize how much impact stress has on your body. Right. You know what I'm saying? In a negative way. So definitely make sure you manage your stress. Supplement. You can use supplements and stuff like that, but make sure you do it wisely, man. I take black seed oil like it's my religion. You feel me? It would also take zinc, elderberry, and occasionally bladderwhack and sea moss. So, you know, it's a couple of things.
Right, yeah. I mean, we're going to have a show on that.
Yeah.
For sure. But glad you mentioned that, though. You'd be surprised at how much harder your body will work for you if you're fueling it with the right things. Some of the foods Hustler was just talking about, mentioning things that keep our immune system properly functioning. Put a lot of junk in your body, it's not gonna perform for you. And especially in times like these, when you got shit like the coronavirus floating around, you want your body, you know, to be at optimal health. So, the steams also, I think, have helped me a lot. Me and my girl did a lot of traveling last year and first part of this year. And my dad, we're going to talk about my dad again. Yeah, he would fuss so much. He would be so mad because we were leaving at least once a month, you know. And he would fuss. He would be like, y'all going out of town and this thing. And it's like, look, it's mind over matter. We were wearing our masks. You know, we washing our hands, using hand sanitizer. We were super careful.
Can't be fearful, you know. Can't live your life in fear.
Knock on wood. We've been fine so far. But like I said, we do the steams. Even when we're out of town, we do the steams. Basically, you get some water. You can put some orange peels in it if you want to. Sometimes I did. You just get a water, turn on, let it boil, the steam. Put a towel over your head and breathe that steam into your lungs. And they say it's supposed to help or kill the virus. So I don't know if that's what's worked.
I believe it, because we did a couple of those too.
Right.
Yeah. So I think
I'm just gonna keep juicing. The vegetable juicing helps a lot. Keep drinking my drink to shrink. Eat my vegetables and taking my supplements. Some of the things I take black seed oil every day too. I take dandelion root, moringa. I also take chlorella. And like I said before, you don't want to. You don't want to worry. You don't want to sit around and worry yourself to death about, hey, am I going to catch it? Am I going to catch it? Am I going to catch it? Like, your mind is powerful. Just think of being healthy.
Yeah.
Think of being healthy. And like I said, just try to take those cautious measures to make sure you washing your hands, using hand sanitizer. Continue to wear the mask. Just be careful about what you're touching.
Right.
Like I said, to touch on the meditating portion of it, like I said, if we always thinking of illness and sickness, we're gonna be sick. We're gonna track those things to ourselves. Like I say, focus on being well. Don't worry about being, catching COVID-19. I'm cautious about it, but I'm not trying to let it consume me to the point that's where I'm thinking about all
your
the
life.
time.
Like, no, that's.
And in 10 years, I don't want to wake up with a finger growing out of my forehead because the researchers didn't foresee that being one of those long-term side effects. And at the end of the day, I could be 100% wrong in my thinking, but I'm willing to take that chance.
Me too.
Yeah, there is so much data that has not been compiled, and we just don't know, and we won't know for a while exactly what's going to come about all this.
Yeah, I agree.
I have a close family member who actually, and I'm quite sure everybody knows someone who's gone through this. I have a close family member who got the vaccine, and then a couple of weeks later she got the virus. So that's just some things to think about. So it's like, if I get the virus, there's data that shows that it's helping. It's definitely keeping the numbers in the hospital down. The hospitals got some relief when people started actually getting the vaccine. So again, we're not trying to promote anyone or encouraging anyone to not get the vaccine. It's just our own personal thoughts about the vaccine. Some would argue that you're putting others at risk by not getting vaccinated, but are we putting ourselves at risk by getting the vaccine and we don't know about its long-term side effects? Right. That's my biggest thing. In all honesty, there's a ton of data that show that individuals who've been getting vaccinated at the hospitals, like I said, got some relief. The cases have been declining thus far. And things may really be working with the vaccines, but like I said again, I'm not satisfied with the research and knowing what's really going to happen.
Yeah. I need more time on that.
Then you have conspiracy theorists who would even go as far to say that this is an agenda to curb, population. Yeah. And who are we to say that they're wrong? Because you just never know.
It's just, they do so much, and they do so much lying, and you just never know.
You just never know. So, you guys, what are y'all thoughts about the vaccine? Are y'all going to get the vaccine if you hadn't? Is anybody, trying to change your mind about getting it, not getting it? Yeah. My parents are on me about getting it. My dad wants me to get it. He talks about it every time I see him. Did you get it yet? Are you going to get it? Going to get the vaccine?
Well, I have people.
No, Daddy.
I got people in my family. The way that they try to get people to get it, I guess, is by telling them that they can't come to their house unless they get it. That never works for me, but I'm just, they be like, well, I'm having a get together, but if you ain't vaccinated, you can't come. Like, all right, I'll call you then.
I can't come.
I'll call you.
But listen, we forgot to do something last week.
We did.
We forgot to give y'all shoe cam last week.
A little shoe
but
cam
check this out. What you got on today?
Man, I got on some Chicago's,
I don't even know what these are called, but
little Chicago
some type
action.
of Jordans. I got these. Where did I get these?
Them dope though. I don't even remember.
I like yours.
Appreciate it, huh?
I don't even remember where I got these, but
yeah,
that's for you, Ellen, and that's for you, Wendy Williams. By y'all style.
A little shoe cam action. But listen, as always, we appreciate y'all coming through and rocking with us. And for everybody that's giving us some insight and just commenting on our videos, we see y'all. We can't always respond, but we see y'all and we appreciate y'all. And
that's it. Until next time.